We thank him for his wise choice of a man that is sometimes referred to as a Georgia-born black man.
Yes, sir.
But you know, to say a Georgia-born black man is like saying a Tennessee-born black man.
That's right. That's right. Come on.
To say a Georgia-born black man is like saying a Mississippi-born black man.
Yes, sir.
To say a Georgia-born black man is like saying an Alabama-born black man.
Yes, sir.
So you and I should feel a certain special kinship to that man that God chose from the mud of American society. Sometimes in the street parlance of language, you hear our brothers of the hip-hop generation. They sometimes say, I got it out the mud.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Well, God chose a man from the mud.
From the mud. That's right.
Sometimes when we say that, we're talking about our provisions, our means of subsistence, whatever money or material possessions we have, whatever life experience we've gleaned. But God went into the mud of American society, and he wasn't looking for gold or silver or money or diamonds. He was looking for a man.
Yes, sir.
Because the value of that man trumps all of the wealth and treasures of the earth. Because through that one man, he would literally rebuild civilization.
Yes, sir.
We thank Allah for his wise choice of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. We thank Allah that he raised him from among us and that he revealed to him heretofore knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that at the time it was taught to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was not publicly known to the world. So this is a common phenomenon that actually produces scripture.
Yes.
It is the process of divine revelation of sacred truth. And so I don't want you to miss the widespread and profound implications, even within our opening salutation. In other words, we are saying something in our saying of something.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
It's controversial, brothers and sisters, to stand and articulate that God has so loved and favored you and me that he would choose one of us to anoint his head with the oil of wisdom, divine knowledge, that even the scholars of this world are just now catching up to.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm reminded of the words of Jesus in the Bible. He said that he was thankful to God
Come on, brother.
that he had kept certain truths away from the wise and the prudent man
That's right.
and had instead chosen to give it unto babes.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that a magnificent prophecy?
That's right. Come on.
It's fulfilled in Allah's raising of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, a man from a people that American society had infantilized
Come on.
through ignorance,
Come on.
through moral corruption,
Yes.
and through institutions that oppressed every aspect of our life.
Come on.
Yes. We are that biblical portrait that sometimes scholars call the prophecy of the wretched infant.
Yes.
That's
yes.
us.
Yes, sir.
So I'm speaking to the babes today.
That's come on. Come on, brother. Come on.
And God wants to give us the kind of wisdom that will not just mature us, but will make us one with him.
Yes, sir.
And we thank Allah for his messenger Messiah, the exalted Christ, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And all that I have shared in my own personal professed belief that Allah appeared in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, that he raised the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and that the wisdom that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has brought us is in fact divine revelation, I wouldn't be able to publicly proclaim such.
That's right. That's right.
If God had not been looking out for you and I in this crazy day and time.
Yes, Lord.
biblical prophecies speak of a great and a dreadful day. That's a strange day, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Because if you say, man, I had a great day today, I'm thinking that things went well with you, that you had a wonderful time.
Come on, come on.
Joy and happiness and peace and tranquility, financial success, success in your health.
Yes, sir.
That's a great day.
Yes, sir.
I woke up this morning without no aches and pains. I woke up this morning and there was money in the bank. I woke up this morning and the dog smiled at me.
Come on, come on.
I mean, my wife smiled at me. My son smiled at me. My daughter smiled at me. A great day
Great day.
is not often juxtaposed against a dreadful day.
Look out.
I don't even know if I've ever met a personal individual that has said that they had a dreadful day.
No, sir.
We can say I had a bad day,
Yes.
but my God, what must have transpired in your life to say that you had a dreadful day? My God. But I'm thankful that Allah knew that this day that we are living in, a day filled with so much promise, it's somewhat technologically advanced. You know, we don't have to remember phone numbers anymore. We just
Come on.
have them all in this little device.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
That is at the same time a communications device, an entertainment device, a map, a calendar, an encyclopedia,
Come on.
a video conference call system. Man, this is a fantastic day. You can sit in your living room and see video images of people all across the world effortlessly.
That's right.
This is the day where nations rush to go to the moon and explore Mars. This is a day where once upon a time, grandma and them used to have to slave in the kitchen for hours to give you a 5-course meal.
Yes, sir.
You can go into Kroger's or Walmart and buy a TV dinner.
That's right. Come on.
And it's got you some meat, some potatoes, some beans, and some Texas toast. It's a heck of a day, brothers and sisters.
Come on.
But it's also a dreadful time
Yes, sir.
because we are having the most difficult time in human history in our relationships.
Yes, yes. Come on.
It's not just man's inhumanity to man, but when you zero in on the interpersonal relationships of people, we frequently see conflict either open or simmering just beneath the surface.
That's right.
And as we have been talking the last few weeks, some of those conflicts lead to murder.
Yes, sir.
So I thank Allah that He has given to us help, aid and assistance, guidance, that even though we're living in a peculiar time, again, a great and a dreadful day, we can choose not to suffer if we follow divine guidance. And I respectfully submit that that divine guidance is freely available in ample and in abundant supply in the ministry of Allah's anointed servant and Messiah among us, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Beloved brothers and sisters, allow me to greet you in the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. How y'all feel this morning?
Fine, sir.
All praise is due to Allah. Well, you look fine, you look good, you look well, and I'm appreciative to be your brother and to be with you today just for a few moments to share with you a message that I pray that you will deem after we concluded that it was indeed time well spent. It's always our aim to be meaningful. It's always our aim to be impactful, because before we even prepare anything to share with you, we have to ruminate and meditate over who you are.
Yes. Yes.
You are the people of God. I don't care what this world has said about you or about us. I know from my teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who you are. So I certainly appreciate your kindness. I appreciate your celebration, your excitement when we make a point here or there. I appreciate your congratulations at the conclusion of the message. But I want you to understand, never get it twisted. I am performing for an audience of one.
Yes, sir.
And that is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
And I don't never want that man who has given his life to provide a proper demonstration of love before our eyes. I never want him to be able to see his little student acting in a way that is other than the demonstration that he has made before my eyes, both publicly and privately. I'm blessed to be able to see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan privately. And I come from behind that private space to declare publicly and emphatically that the man that you see publicly is the same man that is there privately.
Yes, sir.
He is a man of truth. He is a man of integrity. He is a man of great hospitality. He is a man of great generosity. He is merciful and forgiving. And I don't care how much personal pain he may be in. He always is able to find something from within himself to encourage those that surround him.
Wow.
See, sometimes it's easy to give the good word of God when you're feeling good yourself.
That's right.
Sometimes it's easy to show love to others when you receive love yourself. But what about when you haven't received love? What about when you're in pain, whether physical or emotional? So that's why I'll go to the ends of the earth defending my leader and teacher,
That's right.
the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because he is the portrait of integrity. And I say again, regardless of race, class, creed, or color, Minister Farrakhan is the example for humanity of what it really means to be a true servant of God. Yes, you and I should learn from him, but our Mexican family can learn from him. Our Asian family can learn from him. Even the sincere Caucasian who really believes in God and wants to be better than his ancestors, he can learn from the God-given noble example of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And so I begin this message today with words from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Come on.
Our subject is winning the war within self. Winning the war within self. Now, some of you may have been here. Raise your hand if you've seen part 1 of the series, From Beef to Brotherhood, part 2 of the series, From Beef to Brotherhood, part 3 of the series, From Beef to Brotherhood.
Yes, sir.
Well, you might remember I said that we were going to part 4 today. And this is actually the official, unofficial part 4 of the series From Beef to Brotherhood, because we've been talking about how we solve beefs, one brother to one brother, one sister to one sister, husband to wife, father to son, mother to daughter, friend to friend. In other words, the locus of our concern has been external.
Come on.
But today, We want to go inside the temple.
Go ahead. Come on. Come on.
I'm not talking about a physical house.
No, sir.
As I believe it was Paul that admonished the early followers of Christ in Romans 12. I beseech ye, brethren, that ye present yourselves as a temple of the living God. And so today, we're not talking so much about external conflict, but we're talking about my own war with myself.
Come on. Come on.
Now, I don't want y'all to get up and run out of here. Brother Tim, lock the door.
Lock the door. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I say that because it's so easy for us to look at others.
Yes, sir.
In the most frightening area that most of us don't want to deal with is having to deal with what's going on inside our head.
Come on.
What's going on inside our heart. And the reality that my conflict with my sister, my conflict with my brother is an extension of my own interpersonal conflict with myself.
Yes, sir.
So this is a sensitive subject, and I just pray your indulgence
Yes, sir.
because, you know, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad stood up in America and he called the white man the devil,
Come on. Come on.
black folk who were hurting and in pain under the weight of how white supremacy and black inferiority had victimized us, we cheered.
That's right. That's right.
That's right, Mr. Muhammad. Teach it, tell it.
That's right.
In other words, Muhammad, give the devil hell.
That's right. Come on.
But at a certain point, he had to gently cause us to see.
Come on.
Well now, brother. Well now, sister. If the white man is the devil, and he has been your teacher, he has been your example, he has been your guide. And one of the writings I read where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad used the language, an evil foster parent.
Yes, sir. Come on now.
He was gently trying to get us to see. You and I have been made into the devils that have been in front of us.
Wow.
So he told Minister Farrakhan in the early 1970s. Let's think about it. Brother, I don't want you to use that term devil any longer. Use the term the enemy, the slave master's children, Satan. Let's think about that. I've often wondered if one of the reasons why he told the minister don't use that language anymore is because at a certain point, to call the white man the devil, we would have to say it, as they say, tongue in cheek.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Come on. Come on.
Come on.
Because last time I checked, the white man was not breaking into your house.
That's right.
Last time I checked, the white man wasn't carjacking you at the latest robbery.
Come on. Come on.
Last time I checked, it wasn't the white man shooting you down in the streets or violating our women.
That's right. That's right.
So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, out of his love for us, he was very gentle in how he caused us, his beloved people, to come face to face with our own role and responsibility in the suffering of our people and in the suffering of ourselves. So winning the war within self is a bold march into an uncomfortable conversation.
Yes, sir.
But if I've learned anything from my teacher, have you ever been somewhere nowadays, you had to go and get medical tests. And sometimes you have to give blood. And certainly if you have an annual physical and you my age, they're going to make you give some blood.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
But last few years that I did my annual physical, I was very impressed with the phlebotomist because I don't like getting stuck with needles. I don't know if you do, but I don't.
No, sir.
And I turned my head to look away. I said, let me know when you get started. She says, I'm finished already.
Wow.
And I learned that the modern nurses and phlebotomists, they're trained to be able to give you a little stick and it not hurt you too bad. Many times if they're really proficient, you don't even feel it.
That's right.
They've even designed the needles to have a certain beveled tip that is not just you getting stuck. Because they realize if you begin to associate pain with going to see the doctor or going to get a checkup or a physical, you're not likely to continue to come back. And then you'll go a long time being in bad health, but you don't go to the doctor because every time you go, they stick you and it hurts.
It hurts. That's right.
I've kind of learned from my teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, how to give a little prick spiritually so it don't hurt so bad.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
you ain't got to get up
Praise be
and run out of the sanctuary today. Now, as I have said before, I don't go too far into my study without a consultation of His Word. And I thought today that this kind of subject would inevitably cause us to see the value of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's Self-Improvement Study Guide series. And the subtitle, the whole series, I don't know if many of us remember, but it was inaugurated on September 21st, 1986 in Phoenix, Arizona. And the minister talks about beginning a movement that would ultimately spread around the world. Self-improvement.
Yes, sir.
And the subtitle is The Basis for Community Development. So from the Genesis, the minister was saying to us, whatever problems you see in the black community, whatever problems you see in the world, they emanate from the problems within the individual self of the human being.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, this is what we study every Friday night. We get in a study circle.
That's right. That's right. Go ahead.
And we go over the study guides, but the overarching pedagogy that the minister has employed is 3 steps. First, self-examination.
That's right.
Come on. Good start. Come on.
Again, that's scary sometimes. Just as afraid as you are being examined by a doctor, most of us are afraid to examine ourselves.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Examine our thinking. You ever did something and then you probably thought, why the hell did I do that?
That's right. Yes, sir.
An afterthought. Many times should have been a forethought.
That's right.
Why did I do what I did? Why did I say what I said? Why did I react that way to that particular circumstance or situation?
Yes, sir.
We should never be afraid, beloved brother and sister, to have frank and honest examination of our own self,
Yes, sir.
especially our motivations.
Go ahead.
In the religion of Islam, it is acknowledged that Allah judges the actions of men and women according to their intention or according to their motivation.
That's right. That's right.
Because sometimes a person commit something that's bad, but they had a righteous intention.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And conversely, sometimes people do what appears on the surface to be good or noble,
That's
but
right.
they had an evil intention.
That's right. Come on.
Y'all have heard that old saying.
Yes, sir.
See, what Satan meant for evil, God meant for good.
That's right.
That's a statement expressive of Satan's intention in an affair. So the minister says, after we examine what's on the inside of our thinking, what's on the inside of our heart, what is our motivation, what is our intention, he said, then we have to analyze it.
Yes.
See, when you examine, you just take a note of what you see. But when you analyze, you question all of your observations that you have taken note of.
Ooh, come on. Come on.
Analysis.
Yes.
Analysis invariably causes us to raise questions.
Yes, sir.
Again, examination is primarily observation and observation in detail. But analysis is questioning, well, where did this come from? Why did I do that? Why did I say that? How did I arrive at this destination? And then the minister says, after self-examination and self-analysis, the hard work begins. You say, but that was already hard, brother. Yes, that is. Because it's uncomfortable looking at the man in the mirror. It's uncomfortable looking at the woman in the mirror. Again, see, y'all real quiet.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You're in a pensive state of mind.
Yes, sir.
Because I ain't talking about Ray Ray and Junebug shooting and killing each other.
No, sir.
I'm talking about me sabotaging myself. I ain't talking about you, so I don't want nobody to be offended. I'm talking about me.
That's right.
Now, maybe me and you are a lot alike. I don't know. But I don't want nobody to put on no shoe that their foot don't fit.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
The minister says self-examination, self-analysis, and then self-correction. I have to correct myself.
Yes. Yes.
And throughout this kind of process, we have to be exposed to what is God's standard for acceptable behavior, acceptable conduct. See? Every creature has its own nature, and from that nature, we are able to expect certain conduct, certain behavior. See? You got a loyal dog, you expect him to protect your home. You throw the paper, he go and fetches the paper. That's expected and acceptable conduct for a dog.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
That's right.
What is expected and accepted conduct for man and for woman, whom the scriptures acknowledge have been created in the image and the likeness of God?
Come on. Come on.
So as we learn what is God's standard, then we can correct ourselves by bringing our life into alignment with the standard and the way of God.
Yes, sir.
So when the minister says self-improvement is the basis for community development, we can say that the resolving of the beefs within the self is the basis for resolving the beefs in the streets.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Now, the minister gives to us a text to study. And I want you, as we go through this subject, and maybe a part two, but I want you to also follow a lot of this up at home, your homework. Now, as believers, I shouldn't have to say, but I just say it may help somebody.
Go ahead.
Each of us should have daily devotional time.
Yes, yes. Come on, come on.
I mean, how you making it in a world like this and you don't spend time with God every day?
Yes, sir.
I don't know how you could make it. Because you can leave your home sane, and by the end of the day, you questioning whether you still sane.
That's right.
Because that's the kind of world we are situated inside of. See? So I'm not asking you to make no time to follow up on what I've taught on, but I'm asking you that during your daily devotional time where maybe you get up early in the morning and you pray to Allah, you read and you study the Quran, the Bible, the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the words of Minister Farrakhan. See? That you see what's going on in the news. This time where you are centering yourself, where you're preparing your mind to leave the comfort and the peace of your home to go into a crazy, chaotic world.
Come on.
I want you to put this on your agenda during your daily devotional time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got to have.
And if you don't have daily devotional time, well, then let this subject help you start having daily devotional time. Because the minister marches us into this study that ultimately became, is it 22 or 23 study guides? He marches us into it, starting with this particular text from the Holy Quran. The 75th surah of the Holy Quran in the Maulana Muhammad Ali translation is called the Resurrection.
Yes, sir.
Al-Qiyamah. See? If you've ever been to the Juma prayers of Muslims, you know when it is time after the Imam or the Khatib completes the two khutbahs, there is a muezzin that stands and gives the iqama, see, which is the shortened version of the adhan. And that is the call that causes us to go from being seated on the floor on the prayer rugs to rising to stand to perform our prayers. So the word iqama and al-qiyama, they come from the same root word in Arabic. And it deals with rising.
Yes, sir.
Hence the resurrection. I want to read, it's a short surah, but I want to read this for us because the minister makes this a part of the very introduction to the self-improvement study guide series. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. Nay, I swear by the day of resurrection. Nay, I swear by the self-accusing spirit. Pay attention to verse number 2, because I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to circle back to verse number 2. Does man think we shall not gather his bones? Yea, we are powerful to make complete his whole make. Nay, man desires to go on doing evil in front of him. He asks, when is the day of resurrection? So when the sight is confused and the moon becomes dark and the sun and the moon are brought together, man will say on that day, whither to flee? No, there is no refuge. With thy Lord on that day is the place of rest. Man will that day be informed of what he sent before and what he put off. Nay, man is evidence against himself.
Come on.
Though he put up excuses, move not thy tongue therewith to make haste with it. Surely on us rests the collecting of it and the reciting of it. So when we recite it, follow its recitation. Again, on us rests the explaining of it. Nay, but you love the present life and neglect the hereafter. Some faces that day will be bright, looking to their Lord, and other faces that day will be gloomy, knowing that a great disaster will be made to befall them. Nay, when it comes up to the throat, and it is said, who will ascend with it? And he is sure that it is the parting, and affliction is combined with affliction. My God. To thy Lord on that day is the driving. So he accepted not the truth, nor prayed, but denied and turned back. Then he went to his people in haughtiness, nearer to thee and nearer. Again, nearer to thee and nearer is woe. Does man think that he will be left aimless? Was he not a small life germ, in sperm emitted? Then he was a clot. So he created, then made him perfect. Then he made of him two kinds, the male and the female. Is he not powerful to give life to the dead? This is a heavy surah.
Yes, sir.
It's a part of what they call the eschatology of the Holy Quran.
That's right.
Don't be bowled over by that term. That just means end time prophecies.
Yes, sir.
Every prophet and messenger that God raised, at whatever time period he raised him, a part of what he revealed to him was knowledge concerning the end of things. So in the Bible, the book of Revelations, that's biblical eschatology. Those are the end time prophecies.
That's right. Come on.
Now that should intrigue us, because when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us to say the Al-Fatiha, the oft-repeated prayer of the Muslims, when it comes to the portion of the prayer that is actually the first surah of the Holy Quran, the Al-Fatiha, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us a parenthetical phrase to put in it. Master of the day of judgment, parentheses, in which we now live.
That's right. Yes, sir. That's right.
And he said that Allah, in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, had declared that this is the day of judgment.
That's right. Come on.
Now, what's important about that you see aspects of in this surah, is that during the day of judgment, there are certain important events that take place.
Yes, sir.
There is, as this surah is directing us to, the resurrection of the dead. There is also the judgment of the peoples of the earth, and the war between God and Satan, where Satan is destroyed.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
So again, back to that great and dreadful time. We living in it, y'all.
That's right. That's right. This is it.
So if it's great and dreadful, it's also blessed and regretful.
Yes, sir.
You're happy that you're getting a chance to be alive.
That's right.
Well, what all the prophets predicted is being fulfilled.
That's right.
But then you realize some of the old prophets' predictions foretold a time of great suffering.
That's right. That's right.
But it ain't really regretful, not for you and me,
Come on.
because we are part of the fulfillment of the prophecy concerning the resurrection of the dead,
Yes, sir. Come on, man.
to which the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says the black man and woman of America will be resurrected first.
That's right. That's right. Come on.
Sometimes we forget that if he said first, there's going to be a second,
Come on. That's right.
a third, a fourth, a fifth.
That's right.
We are being raised. How do you know that we are being raised? Because when you become a student of Minister Farrakhan under the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we begin a journey that is aided and facilitated by our self-accusing spirit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now that's a strange term, isn't it? Rather paradoxical, a self-accusing spirit. The term itself suggests and is suggestive or indicative of a war within.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean? I'm accusing me. Strange.
Yes, sir.
They used to go around and ask people, do you talk to yourself? And people would be afraid to say yes. And then they said, well, it's all right if you talk to yourself as long as you don't answer yourself.
That's what they say.
But I'm going to go a step further and say, I both talk to myself and answer myself.
Yes, sir.
I hope y'all don't call the people and tell them I'm certifiable down here trying to teach Islam. No. The self-accusing spirit. This makes us think about the criminal justice system, where a plaintiff brings forth a legal accusation or a charge against the defendant. Now, could you imagine walking into a courtroom and you look over at the plaintiff's side and it's Brother Demetric? And then you look at the defendant's side and it's Brother Demetric. How is this a court where the plaintiff and the defendant is one and the same? So this self-accusing spirit is Allah's beautiful way of alerting us that there is a war, a conflict on the inside of us.
Yes, that's right. Yes, sir.
Now, the war within the self. I think it's helpful if we first pause to consider, well, what is my own self? A core component, a primary component of the message of Minister Farrakhan and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the knowledge of self. We have musical accompaniment. I didn't expect it. Beloved brother and sister, when you come into the nation, one of the first things that you're given, lesson number 1, it's called student enrollment. It's a series of questions and answers. The questioner is the great Mahdi, Master Fard Muhammad. The answerer is his student and servant, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And you don't go too far into your life in the Nation of Islam without having to commit the question and answer to memory, or as we say, to learn them by heart. See? I like learning by heart better than memory. Because if you memorize something, it's just up here. See? But when you learn it by heart,
Come on.
it becomes a part of who you are.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in the first parts of Message to the Black Man, he devotes to the knowledge of God and the knowledge of self. And in those lessons we are given, the first question is, who is the original man? The answer is the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe.
Come on, come on.
Again, this is a short, I don't know, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. In 22 words is an encyclopedia's worth of wisdom.
Yes, yes. Yes, sir.
This statement has far-reaching implications.
That's right.
It is dynamite
Come on.
to the psychology of black inferiority.
Yes, sir.
It's a nuclear weapon to what researchers call internalized oppression or internalized racism, that which we commonly call self-hatred in the black community. If we're going to talk about the war within self, we got to first develop an appreciation for who is the self that we're talking about.
Come on.
Now, I want to play a couple clips to give you the benefit of seeing some scientific, some historical, some archaeological proof to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is saying.
That's right. Come on, come on.
Because for a long time, this kind of teaching was falsely dubbed reverse racism.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
That's what they said. Come on.
For a long time, this kind of teaching was falsely dubbed black supremacy.
That's right.
Come on.
Come on.
See? As though for me to say that a cardinal is a red bird is red supremacy.
Come on. Come on, man. Make it make sense.
Or a blue jay is a blue bird is blue supremacy.
Yes, sir. Come on.
No, I'm making a statement of fact that involves the color of a specific bird and what its function is in nature.
Yes, sir.
I'm not promoting the red bird over the blue bird.
No, sir.
Come on.
Just tell the truth.
It's a point of fact.
Yes, sir.
Now, you do with it what you do with it.
Come on.
But it's a helpful fact to you and I who have been a people who were reduced in our estimation of ourselves by our slave masters and their children and the institutions that they set up.
That's right. That's right.
In American society, the leading idea that controls every institution is white supremacy,
That's right.
and the corollary or companion idea of black inferiority.
That's right.
That's in education.
Everything. Come on.
That's in business.
Come on.
It's even in religion.
That's right. That's right.
It's in politics.
Yes. Yes.
It's in male-female relationships.
That's right. Come on.
The black man goes out and gets him a Caucasian woman.
Come on.
Why did he look over his sister?
Come
He
on.
thought he was getting something superior.
Let me get something better.
So this idea, even in 2024, it's a sickness
Come on.
that the white ruling class perpetuates and we constantly replicate.
That's right.
It's like a virus,
That's right. Can't get rid of it.
black inferiority.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes our beautiful black babies come into the world. They said, Daddy, I want to be an astronaut. Mama, I want to be the president.
Yes. Yes.
Well, are you a parent that has been victimized by black inferiority?
Ooh, come on. Come on.
Child, now, you don't need to be having no thoughts like that.
Come on.
You need to go on down and get you a good old job at Memphis Light Gas and Water.
That's right. That's right. That's right. UPS is hiring.
UPS is hiring. FedEx is hiring, child. See? Why are you reducing the dream of your baby?
Come on, man. Come on.
Why are you trying to fit their goals and aspirations underneath a glass ceiling established by our slave masters'
Yes,
children?
sir. Come on.
So to offset any negative reaction to this bold teaching, let's look at a little bit of science. Now, the first one, this man don't look like he's doing too good, but he's important because his family is the Leakey family.
Come on.
And the Leakey family is a family of archaeologists. In one of our other presentations, we show where one of them was actually, maybe this man was interviewed in the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. Their family, it was almost like a family quest to find the origin of human beings,
Yes, yes.
the origin of human life. I mean, they were possessed by it. So I want to play a little clip. The first clip, I'm going to play two clips. The first clip is a clip of archaeologist Richard Leakey, and you'll see in what he has to say to this interviewer, he's bearing witness to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teaching that the black man is the original man.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hang on, brother and sister.
And in particular, the notion that we evolved worried people, the church particularly. But secondly, the idea that if we had to have evolved, and we did so in Africa, this was an anathema to many people who couldn't believe that the purified, pure white, blue-eyed, flaxen-haired people of the North could possibly have originated from the Dark Continent, and they were utterly wrong. But all of the major events relating to the story of us go back to Africa. We are an African animal, an African species that colonized and recolonized and recolonized the world at different times and in different ways. But today, no human can say they don't have Africa as a mother country. As far as we know, as the genome is unraveled, the skin color in terms of the lighter version and the blue eyes and the sort of characteristics of the Caucasian is a very recent development, and the switch seems to have occurred between 8,000 and 10,000 years.
So would that be about the time frame we were all black till 20,000 years ago?
I think it's highly probable that we were, but until you find the skin, you've got to be careful that you may be mistakes in the genetic interpretation. But the likelihood of all people being dark-skinned up until very recently is the strongest case at the moment. The fact that humans around the world are part of the original African diaspora cannot now be argued. Scientifically, culturally, it's still argued. I think the prejudice against Africa and all that's gone into their thinking about Africa probably will take longer to break down, but break it down we must. And we will only break it down not with fairy tales, but with facts.
Come on. Come on.
Did you hear what he said?
Yes, sir.
Now, that man wasn't on that screen with no suit and bow tie on saying Nation of Islam.
No, sir. No, sir.
I looked at Mr. Leak. I said, man, he's teaching that. I wonder did they beat him up because he don't look like he's doing too good. Like he went into some spaces and tried to say, we all were once upon a time black. Bam. And even he tries to wiggle a bit.
Yes, sir.
But I give him credit for saying what he said, because he said that it can't be argued against scientifically.
Come on.
Culturally, people argue it,
That's right. That's right.
but we're dealing with facts, not fairy tales.
Come on.
Now, I want to show you another clip from National Geographic where they had tasked a man to recreate what did Adam look like. This is interesting.
Now Frank Bender can show us what he might have looked like. His goal is not just to sculpt Adam, but to reveal his personality.
I tried to get into his head just like I would a fugitive. Intuition is the binder between art and science. It's the part that pulls it all together and gives it that life, that spark. I picture him very much alive and with a lot of the basic feelings that we have today. Confidence at one point, insecurity at another.
Finally, Wells comes face to face with the man he's been searching for. A new portrait of the common ancestor of every man today. Adam.
Oh, come on. Come on. Yes, sir.
Without the skull, we can't know for sure what Adam looked like. But a combination of genetic evidence, Bender's forensic skills, and cutting-edge computer software suggest he looks something like this.
Come on, man.
Thousands of years after the Bible, and hundreds of years after Michelangelo, we have a whole new face for Adam.
I like the expression. He's got a very forceful look. He's intent on something, maybe taking over the world. You begin to get perhaps an insight into why these guys went up and why this guy's our ancestor.
Science can't tell for sure what set Adam apart. There were other men who lived alongside him. But over the centuries, all the other men's lines died out. Maybe some had only daughters, or no children at all. Their Y chromosomes were lost forever. Only Adam's lineage survives.
Come on, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All praise is due to Allah.
Come on.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yes, sir.
They're using science. These European scientists having to put together what their daddy looked like.
Yes, yes. Big pop. Come on.
Let's think over that, brother and sister. They built that moment up like it was a great reveal, because it was. I wonder what did they think when they saw that their daddy, I don't know, he kind of looked like Eric Garner.
Come on. Come on.
He kind of looked like George Floyd.
Yes, sir.
He kind of looked like Mike Brown. He kind of looked like he may have been related to Sandra Bland.
Yes, yes.
See, what does it mean? What are the theological and anthropological implications of the callous murder of black people? See, whether we know it or not, it's an act to murder the very image of God himself.
Yes, yes. Come on, man.
And just as bad as it is
Yes.
when corrupt police officers do it, I would argue it's even worse when we do it to one another.
Good God Almighty.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it like this: every time you look into the face of a black man, every time you look into the face of a black woman, you're looking into the face of God.
Yes. Come on.
Now you got to wrestle with that.
Woo, come on.
The next time you get so angry and upset that you plan to harm a black man or harm a black woman, you got to wrestle with that.
Yes, sir. Come on. Yes,
Because it ceases to be just then a sin against the laws of man. It becomes a sin, not just against the laws of God, but a sin against the person of God.
Yes.
So, we have an idea of who we are. Our lessons ask another question. What is my own self? My own self is a righteous Muslim.
That's right.
I beg your pardon, I never heard of any Muslims other than righteous. Well, welcome to America.
Yes, sir.
But we're not other than righteous so much because that's how we are, but we are other than righteous because we were made that way by the devil.
Yes, sir.
The war within the self. You know, beloved brother and sister, one of the things that we have to learn is that the brother sitting next to you, the sister sitting next to you, is so much more than their physical body.
Come on now.
Each of us is so much more than our flesh. But most of us never get a chance to know each other beyond the physical. Why is it that you can go into the hospital room of someone that they say she's in a coma, but we're keeping her body alive with machines? The body is there. The machine is making the heart to circulate blood and making the lungs to circulate oxygen. But if that's grandma laying there, you can't have a conversation with grandma at that time.
No, sir. No, sir.
So that helps us to appreciate flesh is only an aspect of who we are.
That's right.
Flesh is a part of the self.
That's right.
What about the mind?
Come on.
You are a creature with the most superior intelligence in the universe. You know there are huge creatures physically, and some of them have a very small brain. And some that have a big brain, but the big brain is not indicative of big intelligence.
No, sir.
See? In the ocean, they have the largest creature on earth, the great blue whale.
Come on.
Huge, massive. But a man who may be only 5 feet tall, but he's a PhD in marine biology. He'll come up with a plan or a blueprint of how to go into the ocean and pull that gigantic great blue whale up out of the ocean.
That's right.
And the next thing you know, he's in a warehouse because you can't fit him in a regular lab. You got to put him in a warehouse.
Yes, sir.
And people are cutting him open, working on him, studying him, dissecting him. And the big blue whale couldn't resist the little man.
Come on.
Because the intelligence of the human being is the most superior intelligence in the universe.
That's right. That's right.
But you also have a spirit. I read a while ago that they are looking into the mind of people to discover what they are calling loosely the God gene.
Yes, sir.
What is it about you that even if you never went to Sunday school,
Come on.
Even if you didn't grow up in an Islamic society, in a madrasa, an Islamic school. Even if mama never taught you, opened up the Bible and taught you the plan of salvation. Each of us have a leaning in the direction of God.
That's right. That's right.
You know how I know it? Because when each of us get into a situation
Come on.
that we can't get ourselves out of, we begin to cry out for help.
That's right. Call on God.
That's the acknowledgement that there is something that is greater than our power to help ourselves that can and we're expecting to come and help us.
That's right. Lord,
I mean, Debo,
come on. Come on.
the baddest brother in the neighborhood.
Come on. Come on. Magnificent.
After the dust settles and the smoke clears, and he's in a cell by himself,
Yes, sir.
outside the public view, outside the view of both those who admire him and those that loathe him. He's crying out for God
Yes, sir.
by whatever name he knows. Father, Yah, Allah, oh God, oh Lord, oh Jesus.
Yes, yes. Oh,
I need you now, as
Yes, sir.
Smokey Norfolk famously sang.
That's right. That's
I need you and I need you now.
Yes, sir. Get me out of this one.
So there's a spiritual side to each of us that, again, most of us never get a chance to know. We get into marriages and relationships based on the physical.
Come on, man. Come on now.
And that's why, as I was listening to the minister the other day, it was somebody shared a clip and he was talking about why women in Islam dress modestly and cover. Because the attracting force to the woman of God is to be her spirit and her mind, not her behind. All of it is a part of her and who she is. But who would go and buy a car, not to reduce the female to a material object? We said, man, it's got a great engine. It's a Hemi in it. But don't have AC, don't have heat, tires are bald. No. Whenever you engage in the acquisition of anything, you're always looking at it in its totality. See? So in order for us to go from beef to brotherhood, in order for us to win the war within self, it starts with an acknowledgement and an appreciation for every aspect of the self. Because what one aspect of the self needs, every aspect of the self needs.
Come on, come on.
Whenever I teach in the prisons, and I have made this point, I always remind brothers, I say, you know, brother, I travel all over the country, and I've been in jails and prisons all over the country. And in the modern day and time, one of the things, Brother Calvin, that they all have in common is that they have a very poor prison library. One of the most weakest parts of modern day correctional system or environment. And it's amazing because, you know, Spike Lee made much ado in his movie about Malcolm X of Malcolm being in the prison library reading all those books. Now, a few years ago, I was blessed to speak in both of those prisons. They're in Massachusetts. One is Concord Correctional, the other one is Norfolk Correctional. Right there where Malcolm read the books in the library. And the library today is very, very poor. I don't know if it was that way back in the 50s when Malcolm was housed there. But I say to the brothers, you know, brother, the only benefits that are in an incarcerated environment, is because inmates have protested and filed lawsuits to get it in there. Why haven't we protested and filed lawsuits over having poor educational access? I said, now, by contrast, in most places, the food has gotten progressively better. Even if you don't like what they call estate food, you can buy a lot of nice things that you used to eat on the street in commissary. So I have access to food pretty good. Access to knowledge, very poor. Because we are very acquainted with the needs of the body, but we ignore the needs of the mind. We ignore the needs of the spirit, the soul. Every one of us has different aspects of us that require maintenance. So, brother, if the Quran says that men are the maintainers of women, well, are we preparing to maintain all of the aspects of the woman? Or do we just look at that as financial provision? Gotta have financial provision. But do you know how to pray? Have you committed any verses from the Bible or the Quran to memory? See? If you're a parent, do you just parent to the child's body? Sit over there until I tell you to get up. Go to bed. Wash them dishes. Clean your room. What kind of parent are you? Are you considerate of your child's mind, of your child's spirit, the soul of the child? See? Because winning the war within self, it invariably involves self-maintenance. The Quran again talks about the self-accusing spirit. Well, what is your self-accusing you of? Do you get enough rest at night? Do you get regular exercise? Do you spend enough time in the sun? What kind of nutrition do you consume during the week? You just pull up in the drive-thru, give me a burger and fries. And you go home and that heartburn is a form of yourself beating you up. You know you shouldn't have been eating that. Why you didn't fix you a bowl of bean soup? Why you didn't steam you some broccoli and some rice? Huh? Why you didn't sit down on a Sunday night and involve yourself in meal planning for the benefit of your own self? No, we can't stop or resolve the conflicts in the streets until we resolve the conflict within the self. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
I knew this was going to go into part 2. But I'm going to be honest with you, I ain't going to rush through it. It's too important. It's too important. See, this is the kind of subject, it's good for male, it's good for female. It's good for old, it's good for young. It's good for the believer, it's good for the non-believer. See? Because if you're going to be a proper representative of God, you have to have the capacity to not just speak to the local, but to address the universal. See? And I bear witness, my teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, does that. You can't go and sit under Minister Farrakhan and not feel like, oh, he's speaking to me. See? And I hope that we are saying something that you feel like, oh, I can wear that shoe. I don't want to wear it, but it fits. Because this is all about the great plan of Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. I want you to think with me as I close about a man coming into the impoverished ghettos of Detroit. He grew up in Arabia wearing fine robes and garments. He grew up in Arabia where they didn't have pork. They didn't have what we call package stores. Used to wonder what there was, my brother, when I was a child, riding with your grandparents. You see some package store. Grandma, what is that? What kind of packages do they have there? They didn't have none of the vices that's in the black community. But he came, and he looked at us. He didn't look down on us, but he looked at us. And he knew that he had found the very purpose for his very existence. He knew that he had found the love of his life. See, you think the love of your life is a person. But for the great Mahdi, the Messiah, the love of his life is a people. And his whole aim and purpose was to raise us from a dead level to the highest possible level, the level of God himself. So even though David is quoted as saying it in the 82nd Psalms, the 6th verse, Master Fard Muhammad fulfills it. For he came among us and said, ye are all gods. The black man and woman of America. The downtrodden, the disrespected, the despised, and the rejected. So I'm always happy to think about his coming and his purpose for us. When he looked to make a messenger, he didn't look for the man that had the most book learning. He didn't look for the man who had a wisdom that was comparable to his wisdom. He looked for a man whose heart was comparable to his heart. And he fed that man knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Oh, the Quran gives it in a beautiful way. It talks about how God raises up water from the earth using the light of the sun. It goes up in a fine mist that the naked eye can hardly detect. Then he causes the winds, because at a certain height, the water from the earth forms into a cloud. Then he uses the winds to blow the cloud over a dry, dead earth. Then he causes the cloud to rain on a dead earth. This ain't just talking about natural phenomenon of weather and climatic conditions. It's a symbolic picture of how Allah raised the Honorable Elijah Muhammad from a dead people, filled him with the pure wisdom like rain. And then he left and said, Elijah, I'll be there with you always. And Elijah rained on the black man, and we began to come alive. We began to straighten up, clean up, think right, act right. And we started building a nation within a nation. And as Elijah was raining on us, at a certain point, something just like Elijah began to grow. And he said, oh, brother, you just like me. He saw his little minister in New York, and people would write letters against him and criticize him. But the minister kept on working. He kept on working. He never would retaliate against his critics. And so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is a man who has a heart like my heart, who's willing to love our people more than our people hate themselves.
Come on, come on. Yes, sir.
And he said, brother, you are more valuable to me than all the wealth that's in the earth.
That's right.
Because I met that wealth when I came, I'll leave it when I'm gone. But through you, Brother Farrakhan, I will get all of my people.
Yes, yes. Yes, sir.
So winning the war within the self, see, the victory is becoming one with God. So I pray, beloved brother and sister, you've enjoyed this message today. If it is Allah's will, next week,
Yes, sir.
part 2,
Yes,
winning the war within self.
Yes, sir.
I leave you as I came before you in the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.